Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. It's the first day of spring and we have a glorious day, so there's nothing better than to get out in the garden after a nice long cold winter and do a bit of gardening. So this is going to be part two, and we have a really pesky dog helping me today. So she's a little bit excited that I'm home for the day. She's going to give me some help to do my mulching and all those bits and pieces that I want to get done today. So these are the beds that I did in the last video. I've got lots of mulching to do today and tidying up the yard. So hang around, show you what we're up to. You gonna help? Hey? You gonna help me? So this is the back area of our yard, the berry house there. I've got my rhubarb in pots here. This is a lemon tree that we planted a couple of seasons ago. It's taken off really well. It was actually looking really poor when it was in pots. I've got a blood orange, lime, and over in the corner amongst the mess is a mandarin. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to tidy it up. Chris is going to give me a hand and get rid of all the bits of timber, all the building materials from our renovations, and tidy this up. And these compost bins are both going to be emptied, moved, and this is one of our old compost bins, so we're going to move everything into that for the time being and restart the other one. So this is just all old building rubble left over from our house renovations, and we're slowly going through. Everything's been hidden around the back, so today's job will be to make this nice and presentable, just like most of the rest of the yard. I've got my 3 wheelbarrows lined up. This is just so that I can fill them up, take them out the back and empty them, and do that all in quick succession. Yesterday I had 4 bucket loads of this mulch delivered, and I'm going to order another couple today. I just need a little bit more for the backyard. Finished this off, so that's come up really well, and I'll start on this lot now. It's amazing how a big tub of compost can be reduced down to this, and there's have a look, there's loads of nice worms in there, good rich chunky bits. Oh yum.
Want a worm?
Oh yum. If she
your
eats a worm, she's never kissing us again.
It'll bite you.
So we're going to transfer the contents of these 2 bins over into this one just here. Good job.
Oh, I love the worms now. They don't like the sun.
No. Oh, look at them go.
Yeah, they'll bury themselves pretty quickly.
So the compost bins are gone. All the windows and frames have all been moved somewhere else for probably the umpteenth time. Ready to put this mulch down now. So I've got 3 barrows full ready to go, and I'm just going to start down that end and start filling up this area with mulch, and see how far I can get. I've got some weed matting here that I can use for the rest of it, so I'll put down what I can as I go. We've got old pieces of carpet here which are a great weed barrier, and there is some old carpet underlay here which was put down a few years ago. It's kept the weeds away pretty well, but I'll put down some underlay, or maybe Coco will do that for us. Put that down as I go, and if I don't have enough, it doesn't matter. The weeds are easy enough to pull out and easy enough to see when we've got all the pine bark, all this pine bark in there. So I will get onto it before Coco wrecks all the weed matting. So there we go. After 3 years in the planning, because it's how long we've been renovating for, the backyard's finally almost finished. So this is much more tidy now. The citrus trees will do really well here. Well, they have been doing really well here. We do have a lot of space in between the trees here. Now I grow zucchini here in summertime and sometimes pumpkin as well. So this will actually provide a great ground cover or base for me to do my zucchini and my pumpkin and squash and things like that. So I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Great addition to the garden. Still got a little bit of mulch left, so I've got to go and fix the spot that Coco's dug up and fill that up with mulch there. So Coco's dug up this entire pot. I had some bulb plants in here and she's dug it all up. So what I'm actually going to do here is take out all of the mulch and dirt that's in this corner, stick it into this empty pot over here, and then I'll put some more mulch down. I've gone out and bought a mixture of red and white shades of azalea. So I think I've got about 9 of them. I'm going to pop them in all the way down the front, and then I've got a little ground cover that's going to take up the rest of the space. Some time ago when we first bought this place, a customer saw me out the front gardening and she offered these plants to me. They're really, really hardy and they just multiply so easily. So I'm actually going to put these into the garden bed along with the azaleas, and I'm pretty much just going to sit them inside the chip bark. I don't need to dig them down into the ground because they'll spread out and they'll actually be a great ground cover. They smother the weeds. These have been in the pot for the past couple of years. They started off as a couple of little rosettes and you can see that they've smothered the weeds. This is a seaside daisy that's died and this hasn't been watered in over 12 months, so it's quite a hardy plant. So it's a bit weedy over here because we haven't done anything for 12 months. But this was planted in just single rosettes about 12 to 18 months ago. And you can see how well they've multiplied. And eventually they'll all meet up and these weeds won't be here anymore. They'll be non-existent because they won't be able to get through the thickness of these plants. And if they are, they'll be easy enough. They do get through, they'll be easy enough to pull out. They grow a small flower, an orangey yellowy flower. I don't remember what this plant is called, so if anybody can help me, let me know. Okay, the front driveway is completely done now. I've got those little, I don't know what these ground cover plants are, but as I said, if you know what they are, let me know. What I've done is alternated my azaleas with different shades of red. So this is a Ward's Ruby, and then I've got white, then a red wing, and white, and red and white and red and white and so on. That'll all look really good once the ground cover has thickened up and spread out. It'll be easy to maintain, so if it gets a little bit invasive around the azaleas, I can just pull those bits out. The azaleas can grow freely and the weeds will all be smothered. So I'm going to tidy up this whole area along the fence here. I've got a whole heap of chives in individual pots. I'm going to put them into an old galvanised bath and tidy up all of these plants as well. Coco's hanging out to get into them. Then I've also emptied all of these. I've reused the potting mix at the base of a couple of bigger pots and refreshed it with some new potting mix at the top, and we'll find some plants to put in those. So this is a really nice old tin or galvanised bathtub or wash tub, and I've emptied it of the strawberry plants that we had in there, and it's completely rusted through or corroded through. So I don't want the dirt to go straight down into the ground. I've just got some old roofing tiles. Actually, these aren't roofing tiles, these are window tiles from our renovation, and we don't need those anymore. So I'm just putting that at the base, and then that'll help prevent any of the weeds coming up and the dirt going down into my bark. Yes, Coco, that's what we're up to. You want to help? I have several pots of chives here, so they're only just starting to green up again after dying off during winter. So this is what usually happens, they'll die off, and all the dead bits, I usually just pull them out. They're quite a hardy plant, so just pull off all the dead bits, and then they're fine to use year after year. I think I had a tiny little punnet about 6 years ago, and this is what I've got at the moment. I think there's more around somewhere else. So it's a couple of weeks later, and the azaleas are all starting to bloom beautifully. So you can see how I have gone and alternated between red and white all the way down. So really happy with how it's come up. So I'm pretty happy with how the yard's turned out. We've put another screen just on the back fence there so that I can grow some cucumbers and other trellis growing veggies. Citrus is all looking good. Chris got a hold of a bathtub the other day, so we filled that up with our compost dirt, and that should be good for our zucchini. Heap of watermelon and pumpkin going to be growing in amongst here. The strawberry beds are looking really good. Still need to do a bit of work in here. Put some more strawberries in here. These are just our excess. Veggies are looking really good too. So I've gone and planted a bunch of tomatoes, some more cucumber, more carrots, beans. These carrots are doing really well, as is the garlic that's hidden in there. The carrots have just gone berserk over the past couple of weeks with all the spring rain. What have I got in here? Eggplant, there's dwarf beans in here, and I think there's something else. I should label better. Capsicum. I've really hacked the parsley. It went to seed, so I've just chopped it right back. If it doesn't come back, it doesn't really matter. I've taken some seed from this plant, and I've got a whole heap in the house that I've got to get ready for the freezer. What have I got in there? More garlic, silver beet, and there's more capsicum and some chilies growing in there, or at least I hope so. Onions are really starting to take off. More tomatoes in here. And the herb garden has all been tidied up as well now. So that little bucket, or that old bathtub, that's got all the chives growing in there. Some aloe vera and some weeds, some more herbs, fennel, a rooster, and rosemary. So our garden bed over this side's looking really nice as well. These are just a heap of cottage garden plants that I put in months ago. They're starting to flower. That is a curry plant. It's really well scented. My tulips are finished. No idea what this is, but the bees love it, and it does actually look quite nice too. Now I've gone and put some daisies in here. Don't really remember what sort they are, but there's a bunch of daisies, or a couple of plants of daisies, and there's a whole heap of other flowers that I've put in, just some seeds the other day as well, so they should be coming up soon. I've done the same thing here, put some seeds in, some more daisies in that pot, and a heap of seeds which will come up eventually. Heap more chives, and I've repotted along here as well. So I've gone and put a heap more seeds in here. Now I've got some clivia growing down the back. This is all from one overgrown pot, and then I've gone and potted up probably about a half a dozen more, which are in the fernery and scattered around the yard. So I'm going to say that's all finished for this episode of our spring gardening, and I'll be back, I'm sure, with some more veggies and garden news sometime soon. Thanks for watching.